In 1992, UL325, the UL standard for residential garage door operators, was changed to require photosensors or edge sensors. Consumer Product Safety Commission has published data showing this change in requirements reduced fatalities and major injuries to children due to entrapment. Chamberlain is unaware of any fatalities or severe injuries occurring under post-1992 manufactured residential operators with properly installed photosensors. In 1998, Underwriters Laboratories revised UL325 to allow jackshaft door and operator systems to be sold without photosensors. A jackshaft operator does not drive the door down. A jackshaft operator unwinds the counterbalance spring, allowing the door to close at a controlled speed. A recent interpretation by UL has resulted in a UL listing for a trolley-based door and operator system without photosensors or an edge sensor. Unlike the jackshaft operator, a trolley operator directly drives the door down through direct connection to the operator. Chamberlain disagrees with the recent UL interpretation and believes that allowing trolley-based systems without photosensors will lead to increased injuries and deaths. Chamberlain has three primary areas of concern. A UL 325 listed door and operator system without photo or edge sensors is required to activate reversal with less than 15 pounds of force. The test method and test fixture are not defined by the standard. Not defining the methods leaves this open to interpretation and allows inconsistencies between test personnel. Testing is only conducted at 1 foot, 3 feet, and 5 feet, but not below 1 foot where entrapment usually occurs. Any listed system without photo or edge sensors must activate reversal in less than 15 pounds. This implies that the force exerted at the bottom edge of the door is 15 pounds. That is not the case. Our testing shows impact forces at the leading edge of the door can exceed 100 pounds. Listing a system without photo or edge sensors relies on the door and operator being maintained together as a system over the life of the product. The life of an operator can be anywhere from 7 to 20 years. It is not likely that the integrity of the door and operator system, and therefore the entrapment protection system, will be maintained by all homeowners and all local door dealers. Homeowners replacing a damaged door or upgrading to a new style door would likely purchase a door that has not been qualified for use with their operator without photo eyes. In this video, we will provide detailed examples of Chamberlain's concerns regarding the UL approval of trolley door and operator systems without photo or edge sensors. All tests were performed on a UL-approved system of this type. UL 325 requires that, quote, a force-activated door sensor of a door system shall actuate when the door applies a force of 15 pounds or less in the down or closing direction, end quote. The method to test this requirement has not been defined by the standard and will not ensure adequate safety. This video shows the test fixture design that was used to verify the 15-pound activation force to determine if the entrapment protection system triggers and meets the requirements of UL 325 paragraph 46.1. To pass the test, the operator must reverse within 2 seconds of contacting the fixture. But there are several things this fixture does not do. It does not measure the impact force that can be exerted on a person under the door. It is not adequately defined by the standard. Each test laboratory or manufacturer may develop their own test fixture. Any nationally recognized test laboratory can have different interpretations of this part of the standard. In addition, CPSC allows manufacturers to conduct this testing and certify their own products. During our testing, we found inconsistencies when using this test fixture. With the door and operator installed per the instructions, the operator did not immediately reverse the door after consecutive hits on the fixture. During the first cycle, the operator detected the fixture and reversed. During subsequent cycles, it did not reverse until the fixture traveled all the way to the floor. How could this have passed the UL325 test? It is not a requirement to reverse on consecutive hits. Operators are permitted to be cycled between the tests to allow the force profiles to reset. During repeated contacts to the person under the door, there is no stated force limit. The ability to pass this test is dependent on two features. 1. The speed at which the door is traveling, and 2. The profile of the operator forces as it travels. The effects of these variables are not adequately defined or tested by the standard, which could lead to inconsistent results and therefore an increase in accidents. UL testing of a trolley door and operator system without photo or edge sensors does not reflect the force at the leading edge of the door. The actual force exerted at the leading edge of the door can significantly exceed 15 pounds. In fact, the force can exceed 100 pounds. Using the test fixture shown previously, the UL listed trolley system activated reversals when checked at 1 foot, 3 feet, and 5 feet from the floor. However, this fixture does not properly measure impact or sustained forces exerted by the edge of the door on a person or object. Chamberlain repeated the test using a force gauge that has been specifically designed to measure the impact and sustained forces at the edge of the door. This gauge is used to test European garage door operator systems and was designed to simulate the impact on a human skull. In this testing, we show forces can exceed 100 pounds at the height of 1 foot, almost 8 times greater than the 15-pound activation force. Forces continued to increase with each impact. This force gauge measures both impact and sustained force. Impact forces can vary based on whether the object impacted is soft or hard. For the purpose of this demonstration, Chamberlain used a balloon to create a soft obstruction as a way to reduce the initial impact force in order to reveal the forces that could be sustained under the door. After properly accounting for the weight of the board supporting the balloon, the forces measured were nearly double the UL325 activation force of 15 pounds. Chamberlain is concerned that the current test procedure for operators without photo or edge sensors does not verify compliance in the last 12 inches of travel to the floor. The test procedure only verifies the entrapment protection system at 1 foot, 3 feet, and 5 feet. Using the force gauge, we measured forces seen close to the floor. Without the balloon, the impact force measured almost 3 times the UL325 activation force of 15 pounds. Using the balloon once again to reduce the impact force, the sustained forces measured at the floor still reached almost 40 pounds, nearly 2.5 times the UL325 activation force. This testing shows that the sustained forces measured on the floor are up to 20 pounds higher than the forces measured at the 1 foot height. Below 1 foot is the primary entrapment zone. A failure to reverse on an obstruction is the most hazardous situation for a homeowner. In a test performed with a balloon filled with water on the floor, the door and operator system did not reverse. This demonstrates that a UL-approved door and operator system of this type has the potential to entrap an obstruction such as a young child. The force generated by a trolley operator is transferred to the door through a rigid door arm. As the door gets closer to the floor, the door arm angle becomes more vertical. Due to this vertical angle, the force seen at the bottom of the door increases as the door travels closer to the floor. Since UL325 does not require verification in the last foot of travel, it does not take into consideration the increase in force occurring due to door arm angle. In addition, this angle can vary from installation to installation. Real-world forces could be greater than those measured in a test lab. Chamberlain's final concern relates to the fact that approval of this reversal system is dependent on this product being sold as a system, being installed as a system, and being maintained as a system throughout the life of the product. Our experience shows that homeowners can keep garage door openers up to 20 years, but through that time, they may change their door due to damage or aesthetic changes. It is simple to disconnect the operator from the door. To the unsuspecting homeowner, they may call their local dealer and ask them to replace the door with little or no knowledge that the door and operator must be maintained as a system. At this time, this label, which is positioned under the cover, is the only marking on the operator to communicate to the homeowner over the life of the product that the door and operator must be maintained together. Real-world environments present other concerns with entrapment protection systems which rely on contact only. Doors or their hardware become flimsy or degrade over time, allowing doors to flex or tilt and reach limits before the operator detects the need to reverse. Garage floors are uneven. Garage floors settle or frost heave. To summarize, Chamberlain is concerned that UL-listed trolley door and operator systems without photo or edge sensors do not provide adequate safety. A 15-pound activation force does not reflect the actual forces impacting a person under the door. Impact forces can exceed 100 pounds. Sustained force can reach levels 2 to 3 times the UL325 activation force limit of 15 pounds. The test method is not adequately defined, but more importantly, there is no verification conducted in the last 12 inches of travel where entrapment usually occurs. This is the most significant hazard area and should be protected first and foremost. The compliance of this entrapment protection system relies on the door and operator being maintained as a system over the life of the product. That life can be anywhere from 7 to 20 years. It is not likely that all homeowners and all local door dealers will follow this requirement to maintain the integrity of the door and operator system. Chamberlain does not want to see a resurgence of the pre-1992 fatality and injury rates because of the listing of trolley operators without photo or edge sensors.